everybody, and welcome to Cooking with Francois. Today we're going to do a delectable sweet. Just letting you know, you might see me finish up in a different shirt because it is supposed to be refrigerated overnight. So I'm making it today, and then I will finish it tomorrow. And what we're making is a key lime cheesecake. So the first thing we do is we take our Springform pan that we put our bottom in, and the recipe says to spray it, but I don't have spray here, and plus I'd rather do it this way. I'm going to take some butter and I am going to rub the inside of the pan, coming up the sides a little bit here. Instead of using spray. Good thing about cooking it in the pressure cooker is that I don't have to worry about the butter burning in the pressure cooker. So I have greased the inside of my pan. The next step is we're making the crust. The crust is 3 tablespoons of melted butter, which I have in here. Now, I'm using salted butter, which means I'm not going to put a pinch of salt in it like sometimes you do with sweet things, because the butter already has the salt in it. So I'm not going to do that. And then I am going to add 1 cup of graham cracker crumbs. And I'm going to mix it up good with that butter. And once I've got it mixed together to where I think it'll stay together, once I press it real hard, we're going to press it into the bottom of our pan. There, that looks good, all mixed all together. So now we're going to take our pan and we're going to dump them in. A little bit of it stuck, so let me get my spoon back out here. All right. So now we're just going to level it out and press it down to make our graham cracker crust for our cheesecake. I want to go ahead and let you know that in August, you're not going to see any Cooking with Francois videos, because I'm going to have some arm surgery on the arm that I broke back in January. They're going to have to put a plate in it. So I will be out for a little while. You might remember when I was having to wear a sling. So, as you can see, I can move it fairly well, but it still can hurt quite a bit. So, I have now pressed the crust into our pan. Now we're going to start our filling. And our filling is, we're going to have 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese, which doesn't want to cooperate as usual. Yeah, there it goes. Which of course is 2 packages of cream cheese, which is nice that it's not some weird and I have something left over. So, we got our cream cheese in our bowl. There we go. There. Doesn't listen real well. Sort of like my cats at home. They don't listen well either. I don't think any cats really listen to anybody. But anyway, so we're going to put our cream cheese. We're going to put see, let me read I want to make sure I do it right. 2 teaspoons of flour. A half a cup of sugar. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And remember, use real vanilla. One of my pet peeves, one of my pet peeves. And the zest of 1 lime. Now this is key lime cheesecake. And you'll see that I have key limes. But for the zest, I have a regular lime for that. So I'm now going to zest it using my microplaner. Remember, you don't want any of the white, you just want the green off of your lime. And we want the whole thing. The oil in the skin is really going to give that lime flavor. That's why a lot of recipes will ask for the zest. As a matter of fact, there'll be more zest tomorrow when we finish it up. We will sprinkle zest across the top, and of course I'm going to save this lime so that I can juice it, so I can add it to my iced tea, or I actually love lime in my Coca-Cola, so I might do that too. So I think I've done a pretty good job. This poor lime doesn't look real good. He looks like he's sort of splotchy here. So I think we've done a good job zesting our lime. Get it, use my baby cheater and get the extra off. There we go. All right. Now, I'm going to mix this up. I'm not going to make you watch me mix it, but once we get to the next stage, I'll be back. See you in a few. All right, we have creamed our first ingredients. Now we're going to add our next ingredients. We're going to add 2 whole eggs, 1 at a time. So there's number 1, and let's mix it up in here. Okay, let's use our baby cheater, push it down. There we go. Now the recipe calls for 2 eggs, whole eggs, and 1 yolk. So we're going to go ahead and mix in the second egg now. Sure there are no lumps in it. Try to make it as smooth as we can. Now it's time for our yolk. Now I'm going to use my method of doing this. A lot of people use the shells. I actually just use my hand. It's easier. And there's the 1 extra yolk. Your fingers act like a strainer. So here goes the yolk. So let's see, we have got our cream cheese, flour, sugar, vanilla, zest, eggs, egg yolk, 2 tablespoons of whipping cream, 1, 2 tablespoons of whipping cream. We'll be using that again tomorrow, the whipping cream, because we're going to do a nice whipped topping to go on our cheesecake to make it pretty. I've taken 3 of our key limes and I'm going to squeeze them into this cup measure. Now, if you're ever in a store and you see one of these, usually an antique store or something, most wonderful thing in the world. When I apprenticed under the chef from Copenhagen, I took one to work just to see what he thought, because you put the half of your lemon or lime in here and you just squeeze it, and it also has little holes to catch the seeds. So it's basically using, I would say, a machine, because you are adding leverage to the squashing. And we're going to need a grand total of, I think it's, 3 tablespoons of key lime juice. I was fortunate enough to be able to find some key limes. So we're using fresh, real key lime juice in this recipe. Now, I don't know if 3 are going to be enough or not, but we'll see in a second. As long as I don't spill what I've done. There we go. Let's see, I did 3 of them. Seeds out, get my measure, 3 tablespoons. One. Okay, that was only 2. And some seeds that got through the holes in my thingamabob. So let's get out another key lime here. Going to roll it a little bit on the counter. That helps release some of the juice. Need to bring my knife sharpener, I know that. Let's see what that looks like. 3 tablespoons of key lime juice. Now, when we start back up our mixer, we're going to have to go very slowly because we don't want to slosh any of this goodness out. So, notice I'm letting the speed go just a little bit higher. All right. Well, there is our filling. So now we're going to put it into our shell. You'll notice that this Springform pan is made to go in a pressure cooker because of its size. It is a 6-inch Springform pan. Oops, I missed a little bit, didn't I? Oh, that tastes good now. A lot of folks say, you can't raw eggs in it. Well, let's see. Yep, they're raw. Get any air bubbles out. All right. We're now going to put 1½ cups of water into our pressure cooker. Pre-measured water. Make it easier. That way you don't have to listen to my voice as much. Put our trivet into our pot. Now, let's see, if I'm not mistaken, I now put a dry paper towel over the top of my pan. And then I take some heavy-duty aluminum foil over that. And seal it up like this. Sort of like what we did with our English Christmas puddings that we cooked. You cover it so that, because a pressure cooker cooks with steam. So you don't want any of that steam getting in to your cheesecake. All right, we're going to put this in. I'm going to bend this over. I'm going to grab my top. Turn it to pressure, and I'm going to cook it under pressure for 37 minutes. So here we go. Let's see. Pressure. All right, and once it has come to pressure and cooks for 37 minutes, we then let it rest in the pot without releasing the pressure for 18 more minutes. And then we'll pick up from there. We're back. It has finished cooking. I have let it rest for the 18 minutes. I have taken it out, and using this trivet, it works great. And then you're supposed to let it sit on a wire rack. I just left it on this trivet for 10 more minutes. And then you're supposed to go around with a sharp knife all the way around your pan, like so. Let's make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, it says then we take the Springform pan off. Look at there. Get this out of your way so you can actually see. There is my cheesecake. I'm now going to refrigerate it overnight. So tomorrow you might see a different shirt, at least I hope so. And we will finish up getting our cheesecake ready. It already smells absolutely wonderful. I will see you later. Hey folks, and welcome back. It's day 2 of our cheesecake. It's been in the refrigerator overnight. I loosely wrapped it. Here it is. Move this bowl out of the way. This is my serving platter. So what I'm going to do is, it says take a long spatula. Well, I've got a bread knife, and I'm going to run it right on top of, whoops. Top of, almost hit the floor. Trying to be very careful because I do not want to do that, and I want to make sure I get all of the crust. Well, poo. I guess I did need a spatula, but anyway. I got most of it. You just be more careful than I was, I guess. But anyway, there we go. There it is on our platter. There we go, on the platter. Okay, now we're going to make our whipped topping to go on top of the cheesecake. We take 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. That's 1/4 of a cup. I didn't have a 3/4 cup measure. That's par for the course. Shake it up a little bit again, and then this is a 1/2 cup. And that gives us our 3/4 of a cup. And remember, when you're buying whipping cream, you don't get the one with the furthest off date, you get the one with the date closest to you, because the older it is, the better it whips. Then I've got 2 tablespoons of sugar. I have zested another lime, a full-size lime, and you put 1/2 of the zest into your whipping cream. I'm going to move this so I don't get the cord in it. And now we're going to whip our whipping cream. Well, no, we're not. Unless I have it plugged in, we're not going to do anything. Now let's try it. You know, Mr. Butch, you never know. And we're going to whip this until it is stiff. So I'll be back once I'm finished whipping it. I'm not going to make you sit there and watch me do that. So be back in a minute. All right. I have whipped the cream until it is very stiff. As you can see, I'm now going to put it into a piping bag. Now, don't say, I don't have one. Use a Ziploc bag and just cut the tip off the corner, and you can do anything you want to. I just happen to have some, and of course this is not a real expensive one. I think this one was like $3 or $4, and it's disposable, the bag is. I used to have the kind that you had to wash the bags, and let me tell you, talk about a pain in the behind. It was definitely a pain in the behind. So I've got my whipped cream into my piping bag. Ooh, nice. And you know not to whip it too long, because if you whip it too long, it turns into butter. So I'm going to go around the edges. I'm going to put a big dollop in the middle. And you know what, I'm going to put a few around the edge here. How about that? Cover up where I messed up. How about that? There's always a method to Mr. Butch's madness. Well, most of the time anyway. Well, it was enough to go around the bottom too. I guess it depends on the size of your rosettes that you put on there. Then I took my mandolin, which is a type of slicer, and I sliced some real thin pieces of key lime. And now I'm going to go around and put them around the outside. And it depends on how big your rosettes are as to how big, how many slices you're going to need. I've even got some left here, so I think I'll just stick one right here in the middle too. So, are we finished? Not quite. We've got the rest of this zest. So we're going to take it and we're going to sprinkle it all over the top. Now I'm going to come around to the camera so that we can zoom in so you can see our finished product. I'm going to come in from the top here. There is our key lime cheesecake made in the pressure cooker. Now comes the best part of all. I'm going to get to try it. Pick the bad side. Let's see how we did. New York style cheesecake with that key lime flavor. Out of this world. Until next time, remember, let's dig in.